Hi, Simon.
Hey, Karen, how are you?
It's so good to see you. I have actually been looking forward to step 8 because I knew all along that you would be the one I would be inviting in because I learned to listen to serve the whole from you. So I'm super excited that you are here with me today. Simon, you also taught me to listen to a full organization in a great way and not only listen to the top of the top team. Tell me about what's your thoughts about listening to the whole in that sense?
Oh, I mean, well, my whole philosophy of change is somewhat different to many of the consultants I've met over the years. I don't say they're wrong. I just say I would integrate, and you know me. I'm a real integrator. I'm a like, how do I take these ideas and put them together? And I think, if I go back to my time at HSBC, maybe I wanted the transformation too much. And maybe I was too focused on a certain part of the organization, leadership, and driving it through leadership. And then I realized if I did some research on social change, most social change happens bottom up. And we have to acknowledge that organizations have structures and hierarchies. So my belief in organizational change and the reason why you have to listen to the whole is because change actually happens top down, middle out, and bottom up at the same time. We have to be igniting pockets of transformation and experimentation and evolution across the organization. The other part to it is, and we forget too quickly, and I think you remember some of the points, I made in the latter part of the transformation is beware of the we can just do this ourselves, that an organization has a boundary. It doesn't. Actually, organizations are connected to the whole ecosystem in which they serve. And I know that you and I are very passionate about not just listening to the whole organizationally, but the communities that we serve beyond us, the people in the street. And one of the most brilliant moments, I think, that I remember was this silly experiment we put together where we sent 30 leaders out onto the street and said, you're going to have to meet 5 random people from across society in the next 3 hours and come back. And we're going to listen to what you heard. And it was incredible because the answer lay in people who weren't even working in the organization. There were answers to big questions out there in the system, if only you took the time. And one person, I remember, I think it was a guy called Ewan, got in a taxi and then got out of the taxi and got in another taxi and then got out. He just spent time with taxi drivers. Yeah. Someone else went to the passport office and stood where there was a massive queue and realized there would be people there and connected with them. So yeah, the answers don't lie within an individual. They lie somewhere in the middle of the collective. And I just want to say one last thing on listening, which is it comes to Otto Scharmer's codification of generative listening. The truth does not lie in any individual. It lies between our truths. And if we can speak our truth and hold it lightly and truly listen to the other perspectives, new perspectives emerge almost naturally.
Yes. I think that was what we learned. And at least I was surprised also how easy then transformations become. And I don't mean to exaggerate, but if you really, really listen, you don't have to push. You can actually go with the pull of it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened to me this morning, a reminder. I was working in a focus group of 40 people. They call it a focus group. And what I do, I think another part of the journey that I think from our work together that I continue to today is that the process at the front of the project, which is normally about assessment and data gathering and engagement, is often this kind of precursor to the project. But what we do is we treat it as part of the engagement. The listening is the engagement. The listening is the intervention. And the way that you show up in that first instance absolutely defines how the success of the work that you're doing and the pull.
That is spot on. It is not a precursor. It is it. So I would like us all to understand the business impact of listening. So could you give a concrete business example where that about listening actually helped turn a challenge into a business opportunity?
Yeah, I think I can. I'm working with a client right now who has been challenged by this current last 6 months. In fact, all of my clients have been challenged. It was a very interesting time because for me, almost within 2 weeks, all of my work got cancelled. And so there was the natural human response, systemic response to this, which is shut down, focus in, focus on the numbers, focus on protecting. And, you know, I often say that the move to protect is often the move before the fall.
Mm.
And in that, there was a lack of openness. Within a couple of weeks, this one particular client came back and said, we've been listening. We've been asking the question to our people and our leaders, what's needed right now? It's a great question.
Great question.
What is needed right now? What value do we need to live more courageously in this moment? And they said development. And people were surprised. What, in this moment? Yes, because everything that was true yesterday is no longer true today. And actually, we've built our organization on authority and hierarchy and control. And yet we're in a situation that we have no control, where our authority doesn't work. And so what do you need? And they said, learning. We don't know how to lead from not knowing. And actually part of the systemic listening that you're talking about that is in step 8. Step 8 is all about listening from not knowing, no expertise. It's about giving up the idea of being right. It's about truly entering the space of beyond empathy, actually. I think it's compassion, because empathy, you can be overly attached. It's a passionate non-attachment. And so in this instance, this client that I'm working with threw out the rule book and pushed empowerment right out to the front line of people who are working. And by the way, shop workers who are working and people in the funeral business who are working in the front line of COVID who weren't recognized as NHS workers. You know, we had rightly amazing plaudits for NHS workers, but these people were in shops, seeing customers and working with people who had died. And they pushed authority out and said, we need to liberate you, empower you, make decisions in the moment. And guess what? They found they could. They found they could adapt, they could change. And guess what? They found that they could trust people to make better decisions than they ever thought they could. And so people made right decisions. And of course they made mistakes, but in making mistakes, they learned. They learned how to experiment and to play.
Transforming for years and years. And I've really seen how serious you take your own transformational work. So what would be your advice to maybe newcomers and even experienced transformers? What would be your advice?
Wow. Explore, explore, explore. Challenge your own assumptions. Go to the edges of the system, the places that you least expect to find the answer. Go out there and go and listen. There are hidden, beautiful gems out in the world. And go beyond the boundaries of your organization system. Go beyond the boundaries of your community and ask the question. Always curious. Always asking why inside. Why is this happening? And whatever assumption you're having, to just challenge that assumption. Letting go of anything that you hold. Passionate non-attachment is the most vital skill set for a systemic explorer. There is nothing to fix. There is nothing to solve. You know, a lot of people are trying to create these beautiful, harmonious systems that are all just about love, right? But actually, the truth is, the universe is full of harmony. Is actually, you know, it's the yin and the yang. It's dark and it's light. So the other piece of advice I give is, how do you embrace the difficult stuff? I know it's something that I'm in conversation with the Barrett Value Center about, which is, too many organizations are trying to drive down their entropy. Well, how about you embrace the fact that that's a reality and you truly listen to what was going on that caused it? And it might not have been a bad thing. Most people and communities have good intentions. And so, you know, look behind the kind of mismatched attention.
That's a good point, this piece about what's a healthy reaction. So to a scary situation, fear is a healthy reaction. It would be strange if you didn't get scared. That means you're not human, right? Yes. So what's the healthy response? And you're such a passionate transformer and doing so great things for the world. So I really appreciate that you come and share your wisdom on listening with this community.
It's been a delight, and I love you lots.
Likewise. Thank you so much.